So guys, in this video I'll be showing you exactly how to build a reusable button component in React using Vite. And this project already has Tailwind installed. In my previous video, I've shown you how to use Tailwind with Vite and how to install it and start using it. Tailwind CSS with Vite and React. Alright, I've also done some other videos that you can check out on the channel that shows you basic things with React using Vite. So here we'll be building a very simple, basic button component that you can use over and over again. Then you can save it. You can always use in your project. All right, so let's get started. And I would want to build an export. Let's say export function custom button component. Okay, as a component name, and I'll be returning a button. All right, that's good. So let's get the TypeScript file for it. It's a TypeScript file, so let's prepare a TypeScript file for it. Export interface custom button attributes. Okay, attributes. So for here we want button text, and it's mandatory, so it's going to be a string. We'll also be expecting on click function. It's optional. It's going to be a function. We are also expecting class name. That's for styling. It's optional. It's going to be a string. We're also going to be expecting type. Button type. We are looking at button or text. Okay. What else are we looking at? We also be looking at link, optional, and it's a string. Okay, so we are good with these basic ones. So btn for the text display, onClick for the onClick function, class name for styling, type. The button type is going to be a button or a text, or pardon me, submit. Think submit, yes. Then link if it's going to be navigation kind of button click. So let's get this TypeScript file and go straight to components, and let's prepare the props. Have this. Then import the TypeScript file. So let's get started here. Let's just structure this const goes to props, and here we want to access onClick, to access button text, to access link, type. Yes, I think that's all. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see how many we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The class name for CSS styling, right? So let's, for the button, you can just have a div here. So it's a div. All right, for the button text, we're using button text. Button text will come here. All right, for class name, we will keep our own style because we're having styles here, and we can extend the class coming from the anywhere this button component is invoked. We can also inherit the style coming from there. Okay, what else we need? onClick, so click events, and we are saying handle onClick. It's a function that will help us invoke the onClick function props. All right, so let's have this here. It's a const, and it's a function. Here we can say if no onClick, then we want to return, else we want to invoke the function onClick invoked. All right, type, we need type, and type is going to be okay. We need type, and type is going to be a type of type coming from here. Link. All right, so how do we use a link? So we want to take this away, and we'll have something like this. Say if link is available, then we know that that event is a type of click event. So let's import link from React router. else, then we just render the button. Link takes a photo, and this link is going to be this link that we passed here. All right, so exactly what's going on here is if we declare the prop, the component, and we pass link, then this will be rendered, and we're expecting to pass a link as well, then this will be rendered. Now if the link is not provided, then this will be rendered. That means it's a normal button click. All right, so let's go back to, okay, so let's tie this on the home page. Let's look at the home page. Okay, this is the home page. All right, so let's go to the home page here, and all right, so down here you can import the button component, button like custom button components. Perfect. So you can see it requires some props to be passed, some of them VTN. So let's call this dashboard. This will take me to my dashboard, and type, it was a type. For type, we want to make it a button, and that's it. Let's see it in display. So this is it here. So let's style it. So go back to the button components. So let's style it here. So we are using Tailwind CSS. We can easily style this. I'll just copy the same thing here. So let's give it a width of, like, say 80, background of, let's say, blue, BG blue. Just look at it here. You can see. So let's say 60 as a width. Good. And let's have a height. Okay, so we have this here now. If we check, we have this. So let's give it a height of, let's say, 30, 32 from Tailwind. Okay, that was too much. So let's say 16. Yeah, more like it. Let's say 12. Okay, 16 is fine. Okay, okay, more like it. And let's give it a text color of white. Text white. And let's increase the text fonts to text Excel. Perfect. Let's increase the fonts, semi bold. Okay, let's add padding to this. Rounded border radius. Let's say it's MD. Okay, and that's okay. So that's good. So we can just take all of these and replicate it here. We have this same here. All right. I'm sure there are better ways to do this, but I try other ways and I realized that there could be problem with the link here if I had to put them all together. There could be problem. Yes, so that was why I separated it. We could actually put it in here, button wrapping over the link. That could work, but this is just for demonstration purpose to get you started how it works. You can always get it better. So now that's the button, and then we are good. However, we can do hover effect and all of those stuff. Say, how do we do that? Let's check it out. We already have this now. So how do we do hover effect? Let's create a state. Because we have this as components. Let me call it component state. Let's say btn component states, set btn component states. All right, so it's equals to use states from React, and we are saying this is an object, and we are targeting is hover. Is hover. If is hover is true, then we want to turn on hover effect, so it's a boolean. Then is hover is going to be false by default. Then on our TypeScript file, we want to have something called is hover effect. So it's going to be optional, and then here we can call it here is hover effect. Right, so let's have a function here that deals with something, let's say const handle hover effect. All right, so it's a button and it's a function, so it's going to take parameters. So let's say params, and I always like object parameters. So we say event type is of two type, mouse enter or mouse leave. Right, so let's destructure it. Cons the object is equals to params. So here we say is mouse and event type. Okay, so we can say here and say if no event type, we want to return, and or if event type is not equals to mouse enter and event type is not equals to mouse leave, we want to return. Now if everything being equal, so we want to run this. So what do we want to do uh, when if we can say let event uh, can you switch or can you use if statement? So let's just say if event type is equals to mouse enter, then we want to turn on the set btn component state. So we say btn keep the state btn component state, and we're targeting is hover. We change it to true, and when the event is else, we know that we want to set btn and we want to hover is going to turn to false. All right, so that's it. Now we can come here and have mouse enter events around here. So let's come here and see mouse enter or mouse enter, and we will be seeing handle hover effects, and we want to pass event type mouse enter or mouse leave. Okay, it's going to be handle hover effects, and event type is going to be mouse leave. So this changes the state to true or false. Then we can come here and have a description here, and what we want to check is we want to check if is hover effect is true. If hover effect is true and is hover is true, then we want to change the background to black. All right, the text can remain white, so it's okay. And before any of this can happen, um, the hover effect has to be turned on. So let's check it out here and say, okay, we can just wrap all of this simple and say if it's hover effects, and this can work, or we can simply wrap put the hover effects here. So only when this condition is true, so we can say and is not hover effect. So only when hover effect is true that this can work. So at the point where hover effect is false, then this will not work. All right, we can have this here. If no event type, this hover effect, then this will terminate. Okay, else this should carry out this task and do all of this. Okay, so we imported this button here, but let's see that works. Go to home page, and if you come here, we check out is hover effects, and it's going to be true. Now that is true, if we go here, okay, let's go and see. It's not doing what we want it to do. Its hover effect is true, and is over no, not its hover effects. Its hover effect is true, and PTN component level dot is over has to be true for that to happen. So you can see this is the hover effect. So this is how the hover effect works. If you want the hover effect to work, this is how you can extend it. So when you import the component, you can see its hover effect to be true, or you can actually just make it a must. Yeah, there are some components where you may import this and you may not really need the over effect. If you want it to be permanent, then you just have to remove this condition from the components code, remove it entirely. You also repeat the same thing here. If you just want, you can take all of this here. And this is for conditional situation where optional hover effect. If you don't want this hover effect, if you want it to be permanent, whenever you hover on the button, you want this to happen, then you remove all of this condition and make it permanent. Yeah, so it will not depend on this anymore. So you just remove this. And anytime someone hovers on that, you have this effect. Then you can actually add transition and all of that from Taiwan if you want. Now let's see how this works with navigation. Let's see how this works with on click. All right, so we can make it work with click events. So how do we do that? We go to home page. Remember that we have something called on click events. So these are on click events. We can say handle on click. So we can create our function here, and the prop just help us to invoke it. That's all. So we can come here and say const and click, and we say is this. Then let's say console.log. I am checking. All right, so you can see it's a component, but on-click event has been passed as prop. So the on-click event simply has calls this function, and this function is passed into this prop. And if you go here, what that function simply do is invoke the function. So you just invoke the function for you. That's all. So if you check it out now on your, let's look at it here. Otherwise, this is not responsive in any way. It's not responsive course. So let's look at it here. So if you just click on this button, you can see I am checking. I'm checking. So this is how you can have the on-click event pass into it. All right. So for navigation, you can just pass navigation prop to it. So you can remove this and you don't really want it. So we can pass link. We want to navigate to dashboard. All right. We want to navigate to dashboard. So if you go here and you click, you see, you navigated to dashboard. That's how you navigate to dashboard, because there's a condition that says if link is provided, then render this particular button, this one with link, and provide a link. And the link is the dashboard that we went to. Okay, so that's it. So this is how you can build reusable button component. You can extend this, and let me show you another thing. You can also extend the class. All right, look at it. If you call the class name props, you simply can increase and say, okay, I want the button width to be bigger. All right, so I want this to actually, let me show that I have this. Yes, okay. 6. Well, then extend, let me see. The class name should extend class name. Okay, let me remove this one. Let me see why it's not extending. It's supposed to extend. Okay. This came last, so this should be able to force it to extend. All right. Okay. If you add important to this, let me see. Okay, it's overriding with important. However, this could be a mistake here and there. But if you have this exclamation mark, which makes that going to know that it's important, it will override whatever you have here before. But that's not the basic way to do this. I should get this working with background red. Let me see. Okay, it's now responding. Should respond. Maybe my next video, I don't want this video to be too long. My next video, I'll see why this is not working, and I would probably make it work. However, it should be able to extend the class name. And if I have it here, let me see. Okay, so basically, I'll look into this in my next video, but this should give you an idea how this actually works. However, I do this for my project, and then I actually am able to extend the functionalities of the CSS class. However, that's actually in Next.js. So I don't know, probably it's because of the width. With Next.js, I extend it this way, and I'm able to pass my own class from the component where I invoke it, because there are some times where I want a bigger button and all of that. So I just extend it, and you may actually not put a width, and you can add the width by yourself right there in the component where you invoke it. But this is exactly how basically you can do a build components that you can use over and over again. Um, Okay, it's now responding. Okay, because I actually have this home with this exclamation mark. All right, so take it out and it returns. Okay, so basically this may be with issue. I don't know, but this is exactly how I extend it in Next.js. I just pass the class name and I pass a list of my class, a string, and definitely it's picked up here and works like that in SGS, and it could just be a fit thing. But though you can actually use the important declaration to force it to respond to the classes that you're passing through. Then that's another way it can work. So thank you for watching. Next videos I'll be talking about how you can build reusable components for input and toasts and so many other things that I've been able to use in my real life application, and so you can learn from me as well. Thank you for watching.